Hello, everyone. This is I would like to say this is perhaps one of the most very important Ascension uh, updates and messages that needs to come out at this time, and also perhaps since the planetary ascension had begun, more so uh, in fuller swing in 2012. Uh, so currently, what's occurring upon the planet, and I'll get right to the point. This is a planetary ascension again, and what the ascension is the upliftment uh, in consciousness and also reality. And this is also, what we call, what can be identified as the rapture as well, which is the upliftment. So we use these words because it does describe what is a real thing and what is occurring upon the planet. And of course, of those in the ascension know, when you know it, that means you have it confirmed, and it's an inner knowing, it's embodied, and of course you have all the confirmations, outside evidence and inside evidence that it's very true, and that it's a very real, and it's a very magical but also a very tedious process. But the most glorifying thing with it is that the great reward that is coming as a result of this unprecedented ascension upon the planet that's being experienced by, for the most part, 6 billion souls. So, there's all categories and levels of consciousness and the ascension process that ones are going through, and all are being prepared for this. Many have been already prepared, but we're finding more every day that more and more cannot refute, resist, nor deny the ascension. That it's in their face, and if you will, and it cannot be avoided, and there cannot be the places of the old comfort and complacency. And it's divinely ordained, and it is divinely ensured and orchestrated that the planet does ascend. So with the ascension, it is an individual thing, but it's also a collective planetary thing, and you cannot separate the two. No matter what some teachers will say, perhaps go and sit under a tree and ascend, but when that one may go every day under the tree and they come back home, they're still in the old reality, even though they've done all of their inner work sufficient enough to ascend and leave the present reality. They come to find out that they cannot. That there's something else with this ascension, and what that is the mission, and it's the planetary ascension that for the most part most have agreed to stay here, at least until the planetary ascension has placed humanity into the fifth dimensional state of being. And when I use that identity label, fifth dimension, this is the absence of evil, darkness, negativity, those old lower density controlling acts and reactions that one's had. And of course, the overall dimensional energetic environment does not allow these sort of things in this new world being created. But having said that, now I'll get right to the point. So we are at this most important point that the old paradigm needs to be destructed. It cannot no longer remain as it was. And when I speak about the old paradigm, I speak about the government, political systems, and, the old control upon the people. So what is going to occur, if you will, that let's say a lot of the masses upon the planet are still condoning and supporting the old system, and what this has done, it's caused a stagnancy in the ascension for many others. So to divinely assure that ones do shift in their consciousness within a matter of about 48 to 72 hours, it may become more noticeable at that point on an individual level. However, it is beginning now as I speak. What you are going to begin to witness is there's going to be a plunge by many. And what this plunge incurs by these individuals are the ones that are still complacent in the old system and are still supporting it. So during this plunge, it's going to happen on an individual basis for the most part, where they're going to be attracting negative things from the old system that will look like they're being attacked. And this is going to bring them down to a very rapid and low place. This may occur for some. It may take a couple, 2 months. For others, it may only take days or hours for them to recognize what is going on, what their consciousness is supporting, and how it can no longer be supported, the old systems. Because we're in the most glorious time of raising out of the old control of the darkness and the governmental systems is getting right to the point. So what will occur by the individuals, for example, by the governments, if they owe taxes, they'll begin to get letters of taxes, perhaps fines, if you will, from the old system for some trivial things they did, being forced, attempted and being forced by the old system to do something that doesn't resonate with them at all, and that will appear as a total injustice and even an invasion upon their own personal individual rights, if you will. So it will vary, and it will include all negative pressure points put upon the individual to actually more realize, to see and experience how the old system is absolutely not supporting their reality nor going forward. So they need to be subjugated to this, to make the choice of the opposite. And during the course of doing that, as they're subjugated more and more negatively, they get to a point where they must surrender, where it gets so surreal, if it has to be for ones that they descend down into where it gets absolutely preposterous and ridiculous. It's at that point of surrender that then they begin to connect themselves back at least to an external source, whether that source be Prime Creator, God, whatever they have at that time. But for the most part, it is going to be at that point of surrender. They are going to need, and they are going to reach out to Prime Creator and connect back. And it's during that time of realization, after they've been broken to the extreme and pressured enough, that they are going to surrender. And they are going to, let's say, ask for a certain mercy, or they're going to ask for assistance from a higher source, no matter what it will be. But during that course, when they surrender, no longer supporting the old system, and find that they can no longer do it because it goes against their moral and ethical reasons, but also more of what they are. At that point, when these ones surrender, what occurs is that a heart chakra opening occurs. And very quickly, as all of you that are watching this knows, when the heart chakra opens, instantly there is an upliftment in the consciousness. The perspective changes. Then it's seen what is not right, what is morally, ethically not correct, what is the injustices, what is the actual evil, what is the actual savagery, the inhumane things. So at that point, their perspective changes. And then what they do is this plunge they have taken. They rise up out of that to connect and collaborate with their other comrades, divine comrades, during the Ascension that are already up here, waiting, ready to take the new ascending reality forward. So this is an important part of a process that has already been initiated, as I said, and it is going to become more noticeable within 48 to 72 hours. So for those of you, I am sharing the awareness of what is about to occur. You'll notice it on the individual level as well as on let's say the macro level in the world as well. However, to divinely limit the chaos with this planet-wide, it needs to be more oriented to the individual to be attacked by the system on the individual basis. For what we have seen in the past during this ascension, creating the worldwide hardship, ones will just look for other ways to remedy their immediate lesser circumstances. So they look for other things instead of actually going in and do the surrendering. So they're always looking for an alternative. And that's not enough. It's causing the stagnation. So it's being divinely assured this way, where they come under direct attack, if you will, from the system, then enough does become enough. So we have two things playing out. We have worldwide all of the fears with the economy, the inflation, the famine, the poverty. All of these things are playing a role in pressuring humanity to make the choice and to make it now. For truly the choice has to be made now by the human souls to transition the planet forward in dimensional space in the least, and to change the old paradigm, to let it fall, to let it implode. And the old paradigm implodes by not being supported by the conscious co-creators, the human souls that are here. The choice has to be made to let that old go. And it's divinely assured in the higher realms that this occurs. So we're right at a very important pivotal point right now with that. And it is divinely assured. And of course, the truth and reality of it all is that as a human soul, no one is ever in a threat of the soul, their soul not existing forever, because that's not what occurs. This is the human experience, and we're here to transition that human experience to the next highest level. And during the course of that, the ones need to be subjugated to the actual evil negative within them and outside of them, so that it's no longer supported, that they began to look for the solution and to support the ultimate reality, what they wish and what they know within them, that every human being should be experiencing, if you will. You know, it's the mundaneness and the savagery. So they need to be knocked down a little bit further, you know. Once their heads, if you will, use an analogy, one only beats their head against a brick wall for so long. So then it becomes clear, you know, and say, why am I doing this, you know? And it's at that point that it becomes clear that the heart chakra opens, and then they come to the full realization of what is occurring upon the planet, and they awaken. And that's what this is about. The Great Awakening is not by chance, and it is divinely coordinated and oriented to occur. And again, it's written in all your prophecies and your scripture, ancient texts, and what have you. It's prevalent. It's been seeded upon the planet, and all of the signs are here to confirm it. So, what I wish to say for all of you in the know now, with this awareness that with your family members, your friends, your colleagues, your comrades, whatever they may be, when you begin to notice some of them dip, what you need to do is let them fall. Don't go in there and try to support them, because what you only do is you prolong the process. They need to experience, and they need to fall. They need to do it now. I will say time is of the essence with the Ascension and the planet, and this is why this is occurring. This is one reason, because they need to stop supporting the old right now. And of course, the old, again, is the government, political systems. As those of you that are awake enough to know that the whole government's together, no matter how many parties are there, they are all part of the evil construct, and this cannot go forward. For humanity are the administration committees by the humane ones, the compassionate ones, and the higher consciousness beings is how the planet is going to be run very shortly, and none of the old trickery with the political parties. Also, during the course of one's plunging now is the false narratives, the false constructs, the false and limiting beliefs that were put out there. You're going to see these narratives implode and come apart very quickly, and even violently you may see them, because they also are inhibiting factors for the consciousness to go forward. So within these false narratives are the brainwashing, the looping mechanisms, the false hopes, and so much more. So the realization has to be pinpointed upon these false hopes and false narratives to completely destruct them, and to expose and to reveal them for exactly what they are. You could say they are really tactics of the darkness to keep ones in complacency, but they're also divinely put there for ones to learn and to know they have the choice. So it whatever perspective you look at it, it serves its full intents and purposes, which are absolutely all divine. And we're playing out upon the planet there is no war per se. The light always won, but we are playing out a battle, if you will. But the outcome is ascertained. It's always the light. But the battle needs to be played for the ones to make the choice to empower the dark paradigm or empower the paradigm where it's all light. And, so this is part of the rapture, the ascension, if you wish to call it that. So it is the process that is divinely designed for this most auspicious, glorious, great time. So it's getting more pressure now on the old to rapidly dissolve it. So having said this, every individual that's in the know about what I'm saying, don't interfere with your family, your friends' process. Don't go into the sympathy. Don't go into the drama to support them. You need to let them fall with consciously and lovingly knowing what is occurring. Because it's when they fall, the quicker they fall, the quicker they're going to rise. And we have the absolute ascension in good change. So this is being prepared. It's already begun as I speak. And having said this, those of you that are awake and aware, of course, you are responsible to the degree for your own survival, if you will. We never need anything, but I mean, just take your precautionary measures of, I don't even wish to really call them that. Just take your pre-measures of having, just some extra things on hand if you need them. And, we always have exactly what we need. It's divinely ascertained that everyone does. But there is a certain, a little bit of responsibility and discipline by the individual, just to have a safe space at least while this is going on, and whatever that entails, whatever it involves in having your safe space. Maybe it may involve you need some food in the house, or maybe you are at such a point that you don't need food as long as you have water. So just whatever preparations that you feel, and have no stress with this, because it's no stress. You just, if you feel you should have some extra water, and you say, yeah, okay, divinely I feel I'll get some, but there is no stress, is what I'm saying. You just take your measures, what you're guided to do. But for the main part, as I said, this should not get chaotic so much on a worldwide scale, because it's going to be more individually oriented, so as to avoid a lot of widespread chaos and negative fear energy that could get out of control. So it's better to let ones be pressured, and one of the best ways is monetarily let them be pressured so they realize what is going on with the control of the money and how it's an actual tactic, control mechanism of the darkness. So there's many things are going to be learned here very quickly. It doesn't mean that the individual needs to be educated on all of this as they plunge, because what's going to occur, it's going to be a consciousness upliftment once the heart chakras are open with these certain individuals, that's going to place them into the higher consciousness, and also be able to see what is already prepared, what is already created for the transition. Then they come into alignment with that. So that is pretty well, for the most part, what I wanted to say with this. So this is what's going to occur. It's already begun. And, of course, just by being aware, you just what I suggest with this is, one say hold the space for the others. Just hold a neutral space, just keep in neutral observing, but don't try to interject out of your deep human love and compassion to support or uplift them at the time, because you'll be slowing down things. And it's best just to observe neutrally and let them do their thing. So if you got a cabin in the woods, it's a great time to be in the cabin, if you will, and just observe and don't get caught into the individual dramas. And, especially with so that's more or less what I need to say right now. Also, there's two important activations coming up. I will do another live shortly after this one, and what we need is some of the Vanguard and whoever else it resonates with. We need some energetic assistance and application with a certain activation. One part of it will be today. The next part will be within 48 hours, what we need divinely to do. So all of the ground crew that knows this is part of what they do, I'll put out the information and the instructions, and of course, where there is no time for us, it means that if you watch the live 12 hours after I put it out, you still do your energetic thing, because we transcend all time and space, and it's applied to the moment when it needs to be. So that's always divinely ascertained as well. So, great. That's the energetic update, and that's the great news. That's what's going to occur. So we're ready. You batten down your hatches, if you will, and watch it individually occur. As I say, you may not see so much on the wide scale out there. You may see it more on the individual level. Because it's being prepared for what's to come shortly. And these ones need to raise our divine brothers and sisters that play prominent roles, if you will, at ascending the planet forward. So you can also say more are being called divinely to service at this time, that the choices need to be made, and the time is now, and it's being divinely assured that they are. So, having said that, love and light and much gratitude and, of course, peace. And this is unity. Kisses and winks. And have an amazing day. We'll speak soon. Thank you.